Yeah, well, I guess we could see. I really wouldn't hate T1 considering like a Darkseer. You're already seeing potentially the safe lane support in the Bane, the potential carry as well, the Templar Assassin. Darkseer's always been an answer to TA, and there's that little bit of control to amplify the Wukongs, and we don't know if Monkey's going to be a 4 or a 1. If he's a 4, he lanes pretty well with Darkseer. If he's a 1, you get that great team fight combo. So I wonder if it's that something T1 are considering to move in with the second phase.
Yeah, great team fight combo, but also just in the laning stage, right? You are very strong when paired together with this Monkey King on an Enchantress. Slows are all you need to be able to get those Jingu stacks up and deal a lot of damage in the super early game. And honestly, this Shakira doesn't even reveal all that much, right? We've been seeing it played across a multitude of roles, even occasionally in that mid lane. It just feels like an incredibly strong hero right now.
Yeah, like we were starting to really see him played a little bit more, through, like you said, multiple roles, three. I think even support, we were just seeing the power of the Jakiro just because of how strong of a laner you could be. And Neon, you get the Earth Spirit, get the Viper, so potential Viper 3 into the Monkey King. It's. I'm always a little
10
bit 50-50 on
seconds
Viper because I feel like your lane can go well or it can go really, really bad.
5 seconds
Yeah, for
remaining.
mine, if you're going to lane the Monkey King into this, it's just going to rely entirely on who's going to get those levels first, right? So maybe it's the sort of thing where you really aggressively block the lane if you're the safe lane and push it underneath the tower. You get that extra experience, and then you use that to try and snowball and wipe out the Viper. If indeed it is Viper position 3, we still don't know 100% what it's going to be. And surprisingly enough, an Earth Spirit coming out. Now, I feel like Earth Spirit got pretty nerfed in this last patch, particularly with the cast points on the geomagnetic grip and the rolling boulder damage as well. Need at least 100 strength to equal the damage that it used to do, and even just the geomagnetic grip, I believe it had zero cast point previously, but now it's got zero point 0.1, which is quite a big jump.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird change. For me, like I was looking at a lot of the changes and couldn't really get a grip on if it was too much of a buff or not to the hero. Because, like you said, I mean, the class point for both his Q and W was now 0, but the rest is not looking too good at all for the Earth Spirit. But I feel like it's a
T1's
field thing,
turn to
and
ban.
I guess I've seen a little bit more than what I was
Radiant team
expecting.
ban.
So maybe there is, some of the specialist Earth Spirit players who feel like this is a your potential hero still to shine.
Potentially. I'm still just thinking like how exactly a T1 gonna lane this, right? Like, are they wanting a Monkey King into a TA potentially? Are they wanting
10
a
seconds.
Jakiro into the TA just for the strong damage over time early on? It might be a Jakiro 3 that they're trying to do with the Monkey King 4 and a Phantom Lancer 1. So just the mid lane perhaps left to come for T1. I think they're trying to keep it open, just obviously wanting that Jakiro to lane wherever the
10
TA is
seconds
going.
remaining.
And they've got that flexibility with having the last pick overall. So Neon are going to need to
5
reveal
seconds
somewhat. I'm just
remaining.
trying to see if there are any heroes that they can pick that still are uh, ambiguous as to whether they're being played in mid lane or in safe lane. And when you think of those sorts of heroes, it's like Kunkka, TA, maybe a Morphling, but not much outside of that.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see in
Radiant
general, like if
team
they've got
pick.
any answer to PL though. Like Lesh banned, you said Conker's banned. I You don't get a lot of carry counters to Phantom Lancer. A lot of the time it's like in the 2 or the 3, or supports even having wave clear or illusion clear, but they don't really have that on Neon. I feel like this PL pick is exceptional, and I'm
10
shocked going to see how
seconds
Neon's able
remaining.
to deal with it.
Could they go
5
something like
seconds
an Ember
remaining.
Spirit? You're going to be able to deal decent damage to an Enchantress. The
T1's
Maelstrom is going to be
turn to
pretty
pick.
effective.
Ember
Yeah,
Spirit.
against the multiple illusions, Maelstrom, of course. See multiple targets, Flame Guard. Not quite as strong as it used to be, but still going to be pretty decent in the laning stage. I wonder if this is now a Monkey King mid, though, right? Like against the Ember Spirit. I feel
True.
like that's a pretty damn strong lane.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, they've got that potential here for T1 if they want to go down that route.
5
They
seconds
don't have a lot of
remaining.
reserve time left. Do you feel like they're lacking anything if they go Monkey King position 2 though?
Be a little bit of that tower damage, but what other tower damage do you really have? Like, because the Lena's banned, the Leshrac is banned. They're the big two that you think of in the mid lane outside of the TA, which has already been picked, and maybe the Conquer, right? So Okay, well
Choose
that's a
your
little bit of the
hero.
damage. So how are they going to do this? So is this still a monkey 4? It's like it.
You go monkey 4, Jakiro 3. Yeah. Okay. I mean, if you're laning the TA safe lane, that's a pretty good matchup. Double range, there's nothing Bane can do, like no Abaddon or something to get rid of the dual breath for the Templar Assassin. I feel like Bane's really going to struggle in this lane. I don't know how he can deal with the two heroes that T1 have. I feel like that's a super strong lane.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to do too much to protect the TA, that's for sure. Like Zephyr, he's going to be able to harass quite effectively. Like I said before, Jakiro, they're actually putting an
Oh.
Ember Spirit safe lane. Okay, so they're changing it up a little bit here. I feel like that's just because you're going to be get absolutely dumpstered by an OD if that is going to be the lane that you are going to be running. So they're kind of just trying to dodge at the last minute what T1 have done with this draft, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. Like, it's not an absolute disaster, but it's still far less than ideal. And I think outside of this Ember Spirit, you don't have anything that's going to be able to answer the Phantom Lancer.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how Ember's even going to look to itemize this game. I mean, people have been questioning if it's back to the Battle Fury route with the change to the slight on creeps, but it's Battle Fury. They didn't do anything to it, still super expensive. And if you go down that route, then I don't even know if you can think about that. I feel like Neon just have to hope that they take Aegis super early, being on raiding, and just look to end the game before Gabby comes online. Like maybe play around the TA's timing instead.
Hmm. I mean, we might look to see this Ember Spirit, like with the Sleight of Fist now no longer doing reduced damage to creeps. Just a lot more of that right-click style of build, because I feel like they've got a decent amount of magic damage with the Viper and the Earth Spirit. You're going to get some decent magic damage through the Maelstrom that you're almost inevitably going to have to buy. But right click is a pretty value thing right now with the Ember, especially considering the Sleight of Fist got buffed, and you've got a TA who's going to go the Desolator. Why did Desolator need a buff? I'm still going to go back to it. It did not need it.
I feel like you're hating. I don't know why. Like unnecessarily.
What do you mean you don't know
always.
why? Just giving it an extra 20 damage for no reason? You're going to get all of those stacks on it.
Man, I don't know what it is with you. Like it's just they can never please you, can they? Right.
Nope.
Easy D ward for Whitemon. Smoked up and jing, same place of the ward, and they're like, oh no. Now they're gonna see a bang. Oh, he's got 3 sentries on the Bane. He's already placed 1 down, so 2 left. He's thinking, well, what am I gonna do with these 2 sentries? If he walks up a bit too far, run into a couple T1 heroes.
They're
1
pinging
blocked.
it, though.
Another. Man, are they really looking to bully the Enchantress? Like, Whitemon, screw you. You know how we know how good your Enchantress is. We're just gonna make sure we really limit your lane potential.
Well, that right click is going to give away the fact that they've got this warded up, though. I wonder if a bang... Like, I'm a little surprised that he didn't look to go for the D ward right then and there. The Enchantress shouldn't have been able to right click you from that range at this point in the game if he doesn't have an Observer ward up there.
Alright. Let's see. Bottom, a little bit of aggressive moves going on. Nothing too crazy to kick us off, but will be a 3 for 1. All right, very nicely done for the boys on T1. Have you been noticing any aggressive maneuvers so far with the change to the bounties, in particular yesterday with Pro Series?
I was thinking about it, and not really. I don't think there's been a real concerted effort to do it just yet. I feel like Radiant just takes the left ones, Dire takes the right ones is the much more standard way to do it. But I think you can posture, with a couple of heroes to show that you're quote-unquote protecting a rune, but then you don't actually do so, and you just leave, for example, the safe lane carry for your rune, and then, rotate so that you've got extra numbers on other ones, and maybe you'll luck out and get a 3 for 1 trade like T1 just did.
So it feels like Neon, at least they're reading that this mid lane's going to be a little bit more favored for the Templar Assassin than what the Ember would have into the OD. What would you still give it percentage-wise here for Avatar mode and Carl?
It depends, right? Like, if you're able to just dominate the last hits on Avatar mode, you prevent particularly the OD from getting a lot of that through denies, then it's going to still stop him a decent amount from getting that Meteor Hammer, and then as a TA, you don't really care all that much about what an OD is able to do to you. It's all about that damage over time that's actually going to impact you, and it's not like you're getting any rotations coming through from a Jakiro super early on into the piece, so I feel like once that Meteor Hammer comes out, if Carl can get it at like 6 minutes, I consider this a lane 1 for T1. If it's more than 8, then I would say Avatar Mode's done a great job. Any time between then, it's pretty much breaking even.
Well, we do see Whitemon. What's he running around with at the moment? Just a little ghost creep. So, is he gonna... Okay. Did get the hard camp now available to him by the lane. Of course, they did deward at the cliff spot as well. Whitemon in some trouble. He'll be back to the tower though. He's got a salve as well, so he will be at least okay to stick around for a little bit longer in this lane. How's Gabby going at least with the last? It's 9-2. PL's a very good matchup versus the Viper because you have a natural way to be able to purge off any of the poison attacks. Whitemon might be in trouble again. They know he TP'd back, so this time they will have no cheeky play from the Enchantress. He's going to look to do as much damage as he can to maybe set up for Gabby to get a return kill. But Jing recognizing this and he gets out of range here to allow Ryu to get the kill.
Still got that Warpine Raider controlled. I'm sure he's going to look to try and get one seed shot off before it despawns. Some nice little harass there onto Ryu, but yeah, of course, after giving up the first blood there, it's going to be a very nice lane for the Viper so far.
Lane that I was kind of looking forward to in the draft with the Jakiro Monkey King, saying I felt like they're actually going to have a pretty good time versus the really strong laning support in the Bane. And yeah, looks like Cuckoo's ahead of the last hits here for Asta, who before he had the Orb Corrosion queued up, and he's actually going to the bottle. Okay. I wonder if we're going to see like a lot more bottles in the safe lanes just because of how close the bounties are to them now.
I guess, maybe, right? But if you actually look to test the amount of time that it previously took to walk between the old bounty runes, it's the same. It's the same. Like, it still takes 12 seconds just with your standard hero to run to where they are now from where they are previously. So it's not like Mid wants to get those bottles any less than what they previously did.
Okay. And I guess, like, you didn't really change... I don't know if it's the right words meta, but just with how the carries were coming out to the lane with very minimal resources, like as always the support, ferrying out a bunch of selves and just tangos to consistently allow the carries to go through a lot more stat heavy builds. So Ash just dropping a Blightstone just away from the creep wave. It's just like, all right, I'm getting absolutely bodied out in this lane. Oh, tough time.
Doing an okay job of dodging out a lot of these liquid fires, but yeah, the thing is, the core Jakiro in particular, is that most times you're probably not going to get a multiple ice paths off in a team fight anyway, so just one value point at the ice path is actually worth quite a good amount because it's an extra 0.6 seconds that you have on the actual duration of it there. Asta's getting bullied out by a pos 4 Monkey King.
Thanks be to you.
Yeah, his lane's not looking the greatest at the moment here for Neon. Lisa Bang might be able to play off the back of creep pull and just allow Asta to last hit under the tower. But they have their hard camp available as well. Looks like Cuckoo's still got a couple creeps that he has to be worried about at the moment. Initially to start though, like Carly is still very much struggling versus the Templar Assassin. There's a big last hit advantage to Avatar mode, 27-4 compared to the 18-10. So levels honestly is nothing too crazy just because more than likely...
A bit low up here.
It's actually going to look to turn on Ryu. Maybe Whitemon's also in trouble as well. Doesn't have any creeps to play with, and Ryu's going to play the distance, allowing Jing to take a majority of the damage, just have those range attacks flurrying from afar. So Neon, really nicely done in their offlane. They found 3 kills.
I mean, that's what you need to do, right, whenever you're playing as a Viper. So obviously it's a good thing, but it was an absolute necessity. Be able to get this pull off. It doesn't look like it. Just the one creep on the bottom side for OB.Neon, so they're not even fixing the lane all that much. They have found Zephyr though, standing up on top of the tree.
Behold my searing chains.
Oh, look at this. He's even just giving over his bottle to Abeng, just saying, "Look, you be the one to go get the rune." I wonder if Zephyr's going to be... he's just checking the bottom river as opposed to the bounty, and it's going to be there.
Haste.
Go to a bang. A little bit late to get the bounty, unfortunately. So that's twice now. A bang is, yeah. They're giving over to the Bane.
Though. Look at it. Oh, the Jukes. Oh, Bang. What a god.
Oh, he had the ward advantage. Hang on. Oh, now you leave Asta alone. So who's the god now? Zephyr's Larson. All right, you're away from the lane. This puts us. Oh, he didn't.
He blocked it with a tree.
Oh, no. Wait, was that Zephyr or Ember?
That was Zephyr, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, no. Cute plays from the Monkey King. I thought it was the Ember that didn't just get on the other side of the tree there, but really nicely done. And look at this.
It actually was the Ember, my bad. But still, I'm trying to give props for good plays, not point out some not so ideal ones.
Cuckoo might be in trouble. Trying to take a couple of tower hits. Zephyr can disrupt this. He's got Fairy Fire and Stick Charges on the Jakiro. Cuckoo not going to get enough health back. And now there's an extra rotation coming from Jing too. So the Earth Spirit making plays top and now looking connect to bottom lane as well, as Asta died previously but getting some revenge and much needed gold as well, as the Ember secures the double.
Pick that one up. Carl in the mid lane, not getting the greatest luck with his Essence Flux, so doesn't have the Sanity's Eclipse to be able to take out Avatar mode. And well, he's got that Meteor Hammer at about the 7-minute mark, so he's done a decent job with being able to pick it up. But again, it's not like you found this perfect timing. How lucky is he going to get? A lot of these Arcane Orbs aren't actually proccing the Essence Flux, so he doesn't have that Sanity's Eclipse damage to be able to take out the TA.
Okay, they just fed over a Conqueror to TA. So, I don't know. Avatar mode's like, thank you, lads. Free 59 gold. I'll take that any day of the week. And they haven't blocked up any of the Ancients. One Ancient, the hard camp as well. So, Triangle unaffected as Carl push back to Radiant's high ground. He's going to try and turn it, just drop the meteor, but a bang instantly cancels this. Zephyr's looking to get involved as well. Do they have the damage to bring down Carl? They do. A long-range attack from Avatar mode along with the Bane's assistance will trade at least a 1-for-1. And, I mean, Neon, you're happy with that trade considering it was your position for the support.
Absolutely. Here, he's still at the top of the net worth charts, and it is going to be a bit of a concern, particularly for that TA. Honestly, even the Ember Spirit, he's gone a lot of points into the Flame Guard, and Jakiro is no slouch when it comes to that damage over time.
Or a bang. Looks like Gabby's like, give me the clap instead. Oh, okay, Gabby didn't commit. I guess he saw Enryu starting to step on over, who has had a solid lane on Enryu. And what, second in the net worth, 201, higher net worth than the Phantom Lancer at the moment. And Carl forced to stop the Meteor once again. Kick back from Jing. The grasping hands of Avatar mode, but they're able to do a little bit of harassment. Now they're eyeing up bottom though. That's a Macropyre out. And quick Remnant to answer. So they do take a T1 pretty early on for T1 though.
Zoning Macropyre, just making sure he needed to get away from the team fight so that they could take that tower. I don't think you could really expect to have too much more impact than that super early on, right? He doesn't have a single point in the Ice Path, and other than that, the only stun you've got is from the Boundless Strike, and I mean, maybe the Astral Imprisonment, if you can even call it that.
Dire's top tower is
It's a
under attack.
very even game we got at the moment. It's Jakiro top of the net worth. How are you expecting Cuckoo to kind of utilize this high net worth through the early stage of this game?
Well, he wasn't expecting the Boots of Travel, to be completely honest, that he's looking to go for here. Maybe just trying to follow Asta around every single area of the map. You're playing as an Ember Spirit, right? You want to be using your Flame Remnants now that you're level 6, level 7. And push out multiple waves, make sure you're not losing too much of that map control, and Jakiro's job is probably to look to prevent that.
Radiant structures
Asta?
are fortified.
It's got some assistance coming over. And Zephyr's in a lot of trouble here. Trying to make this Q to temper to bang and Asta secure the kill, and now they're looking over mid for Enryu. They TP in to try and answer Waimon. Carl's going to give him a little bit of breathing room at the moment, but it still looks like the Enchantress should end up dying. There's no way Waimon gets away. Okay, he does. Very nicely played from Carl.
Got the single point in the Nature's Attendant. Still no point in the Ice Path on Cuckoo, which I'm a little concerned
That's an
about.
aggressive roll. You got Enryu standing nearby, but nothing really that the Viper can do, leading up into 3 heroes on Dire. Snap of the Sanity is getting dropped, doing mixed amounts of damage here. So able to stick around, look to turn it. A bang's come on over, but Carl, with already this maxed out Astral, doing a lot more damage than they were expecting, but still a bang. I mean, Carl just walked back to the lane instead of trying to escape to the right side. So a bang finds a free window here to use the Fiend's Grip, and with Avatar mode nearby, they are not lacking any damage.
That was ambitious, that's for sure. Just looking to go that deep and maybe not thinking that Abing was just standing there waiting in the wings, but it always seems to be the case whenever he's playing this Bane. His positioning on point. 1, 0, and 4 so far on Abing, and it's only early on, right? Like level 8, he could get that enfeeble if he wants it.
Oh, not
No, I
that
love it.
value level.
I mean, against an OD, it's pretty devastating, right? Like, you already have not great cast range on the Astral Imprisonment. Then you could just make it even worse. 30% is a big deal, especially considering how big Enfeeble's cast range is.
I think one thing to mention is that we've seen multiple times now where Carl's really had difficulties on using this Meteor combo just because of Jing always playing around mid and constantly trying to disrupt the Astral into Meteor. So, look to see if that's going to be the case as the game goes on.
We're going into the Witchblade as well on the Jakiro.
Okay.
Don't hate it for build-up. I think it's a lot of that scaling potential that you've got early on. He already has the 3 Bell Talismans, so it's going to provide him, a lot of that that just pure intelligence that's going to buff up the damage even further. It's all about the damage over time. So obviously, it's going to sound stupid, but it's important that you're at the top of the net worth charts because you are a hero that dominates the early game, right? And as soon as those BKBs start to come out, particularly on the TA and the Viper, you're just a lot less scared of taking a lot of these team fights. You're not like an Ember Spirit that has the capability to instantly jump out of the fights. Yep. Like I said before, really the only lockdown that they've got is the Ice Path and a Boundless Strike. If you're not killing people within that, you're probably not going to take out this Ember.
Dire are scanning.
Are you worried though if you're Neon, considering you really haven't dealt with the Phantom Ladder at all? I mean, Gabby, top of the net worth, 5,400 Diffusal Blade now completed.
It's a bit of a concern for sure. Asta's holding on to a lot of gold, so I wonder if he's still in 2 minds as to what he wants to go. I still think you absolutely need this Maelstrom.
Paimon waiting at the Remnant location. Asta's out of mana. Car's even got a pogo stick on forward as well. And no one's going to come to save him. Oh man, you miss on the Meteor. Yeah, will not matter though. Okay, nicely done. T1, 4 heroes here. They're going to look to smoke instantly connect to top. They will run by a Bang. Let's see if they stick around to try and get the Bane or if they want a valuable target instead. I guess you get maybe a tower off the back of this. We'll see. Carl, to start. Not really much Avatar mode can do to disrupt this. It's going to be the Bane that's in trouble. Jing's going to look to show up. Enryu's starting to TP to the location as well. T1, they've already lost one of their numbers in Whitemon. Will still be a trade nonetheless. Looks like ticking out to the Macropie there.
Even started to use the Nature's Attendants there on the Enchantress. I mean, Cuckoo, obviously, he's a very strong hero in terms of, like, the macro sense. Where to move, what decisions need to be made on the map at every single point in time. But I've seen a few times, that was probably the first time, actually, that we've seen him use the Dual Breath completely correctly. I mean, again, he just whiffs it entirely there. Not even landing onto heroes after the use of the Astral Imprisonment, getting the slow portion of it. He just missed another one, right? Like, he hit the slow portion, but not the damage portion. So I feel like he needs to shore up a lot of the timings that he's got when he's looking to go for these kills.
Something I do want to mention real quick is kind of the itemization we're seeing from either side. I mean, Zephyr on the Monkey King 4 is already gone Diffusal Blade. I wonder if this is going to be an item we start to see a lot more here from support monkeys just with how cheap it is.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, it's not even just the one Diffusal, right? You've also got the Phantom Lancer who's picked one up. Obviously, it's a much more core PL item, but not giving quite as much agility. Makes you feel... It is a bit more of a utility style of item, so... I wonder how much that's going to affect him overall in the piece, but against an Ember Spirit in particular, right? Like I said, they are lacking a lot of stuns, but if during that very small stun time you're able to burn his mana out completely, it's not like he can even just look to leave.
She'll stun Asta. Everybody get the Ice Path afterwards. He is out of range of the Wukongs, but like you said, no mana to reset his position, so there's the mana burn coming to play. Maybe something he wasn't expecting. He kind of stuck around, didn't remnant instantly, and nicely done, T1. They're going to look to try and set up now, knowing the Ember's dead, but Radiant have pretty good control around mid. Multiple traps to give them vision. Jing a Bang. Great ways to counter-initiate any deep dive attempt.
I think when T1 might be looking to make another move forward. Got very close to picking up the Witchblade here on Cuckoo. You would have to imagine it's then. But
Lane. Got a fight
will they
breaking
reach
out
that
soon.
point?
Cuckoo TPing into the trap location. A Bang's gonna make sure he cuts away the potential of the actual save. Great recognition for the Bang, just making sure there's no possibility. He at least gets the eyes pathed up before he dies, so the Friendship's not gonna have a long enough duration, but still, they're eyeing up Carl. Avatar mode, prioritizing the back, looking to take care of the outward Devour, and they'll do just that. A 2-0, and they get the tier 1 tower. And I mean, if they look towards Roche, there's already a DD there as well, so I wonder if they consider it.
Of course there is. Maybe if they had the Desolator, they would think to go for it. I don't think the Blightstone's going to be quite enough to be able to take it down just yet, especially considering how low the death timers are
Jing.
still.
They saw the Monkey King flying through the trees. I mean, the pings come out exactly where the ward is, but it's going to cost the life of the Monkey King to find that ward placement. I mean, I'm really impressed with Jing's performance so far this game. 3-2 and A. I think early on, like, we saw a pretty good timing the Meteor. That was something you were bringing up, like how you were going to scale, whether it was a winning lane for the OD or not, depending on his Meteor timing, his Cuckoo. Full hit down from a DD Templar Assassin. They committed pretty goddamn deep, though. Gabby's going to look to try and bring down the Bane before the TP out. He won't be successful, and now they'll turn over to the Templar Assassin. An overcommitment just for the position 3 to Kira, and they will be penalized.
Man, it's quite a deep dive, especially when you've still got these tier 2 towers available for T1. Multiple heroes looking to join in onto that engagement, Carl in particular. So, yeah, it was a little bit odd that they were going for such a deep dive, and well, finally the damage starting to be layered in onto that mid tier 1 tower with a Meteor Hammer. Still doing a good amount of damage despite the nerf to the hero portion of it.
Nice hit him. Jing's going to be caught. Should reveal the ward placement. I guess Zephyr did start the fight. Somehow he was able to roll away. Rest of T1 200. Oh, ho, ho. Oh. Blinks in, stops the roll. And they also claim the T1. So, sequence of events here going back and forth for either side. It was pretty favorable for Radiant with that previous skirmish, but they got the 2 kills and then into the T1 tower. But now that T1 have been able to even this out, they've got to be pretty happy with this.
I'm pretty sure I've counted about 8 Astral Imprisonments into a dual breath on the Jakiro, and he's only hit 1 perfectly. He's hit about maybe 4 where he's hit 1 of the breaths, either the ice or the fire, and 3 of them have just whiffed entirely, not landing a single portion of the damage or slow. So, again, Cuckoo is really going to need to work on that if he's going to look to continue to scale, because he was top of the net worth for quite some time, and he's fallen down to 5th.
Don't do it, Zephyr. Don't do it. They're baiting you. Wow. Because he's got this ward, so full awareness of the position from Neon supports. How aggressive Ass is playing as well. I do want to mention while we got a second, Vipers, look at a scale on this build. What Dragonlance, BKB is gone for the attack speed talent at level 10. So, actually, they did change one of the 10 talents on Viper, right? Yeah, the spell lifesteal changed with the corrosive skin. Okay. Do you like a potential for Enry to go late game? Like, this is maybe a way to deal with the Phantom Lancer?
What, the Dragonlance build in the BKB?
Yeah, like into probably Mjolnir or something like that to help.
I mean, you've got it on the the Ember Spirit already, so I don't know how super important it is. I think the importance right now is just having that one hero that actually just wants to stand there and be kind of like a turret, right? Like, you're just this force that wants to stand in place and look to try and take out these heroes that are trying to stand and fight, whether it be a Monkey King or a PL or an OD. You're going to be able to take them down pretty quickly, so I feel like it was pretty important that you got that
Cuckoo. He's got a Ghost Scepter now completed. So able to sidestep the initial roll, and Carl is in range as well to give him some breathing room. Not going to get the Astral off fast enough thanks to the trap actually slowing Carl down. And it's still a bit of a commitment for T1. I mean, you drop the Wukongs. They're eyeing up Gabby down to the south. They've been able to kill off all the Phantom Lancer illusions. Mantis still on cooldown for a short duration. Great use of the Phantom Rush, though. Able to reposition away from the aggressive maneuvers that Neon are putting out at the moment. So just the kill onto Cuckoo and everyone else will reset. I mean, Avatar mode's doing a really good job with the trap placements. I mean, that was a potential where if you didn't have that trap on OD's position, then It should have got in range to Astral Cuckoo, and who knows how that fight would have turned out afterwards. But I still feel like Dire are really not worried at how this game is looking. Like, PL is going to be a raid boss as the game goes on. I struggle to see how Radiant can deal with that unless you get really, really ahead, like maybe 10,000 lead at 40 minutes in, and maybe it's just the PL with the net worth. But everyone on tier 1 is still farming at a rapid rate, so they will not fall too far behind. As Ryu, I know the BKB is on cooldown. We'll be up in 5 seconds, actually, so they're going to bring him down pretty fast before the BKB is back and available, or Jing rotates in too. Kicks him away from the Macropite. Now gives Enry an opportunity to pop the BKB. They'll cancel the TP of Whitemon. Now they'll look over to the Jakiro as well, as all of Neon's goons show up to protect the Viper. Now, they still got to be cautious how deep they make the attempt, with Carl looking to put some revenge on the board. Ascended is not enough to secure the kill. Jing gonna sacrifice his life, but the rest of Neon, they're still not in fighting shape as Gabby rips apart the Viper. Now they are looking for more. They're gonna be cautious. Both sides respecting the damage. It'll be T1 that at least get a consolation prize out of the initial start.
Aster, he's dealing a lot of damage now in these team fights, though, right? Like that Maelstrom, he's got the 4 points in the Sleight of Fist, he's got the Maelstrom, and he's going into a lot more of that divey style of build with the BKB and the Aghanim Scepter, really enabling the Viper to just stand and fight rather than try and chase around, because that's where you really feel the strengths of the Viper start to come to the front. But it's going to get harder and harder, right, Gabby? He's hit the couple of timings that he needs for the early game. Level 18 at the 22-minute mark is pretty damn decent, especially when you're coming up against something like a TA. You expect it from a TA, right? You're going to be able to farm a lot of these Ancients, but a PL at this stage of the game, when he's got 3 kill involvements, sorry, 4, Gabby's been really efficient with a lot of his movements and farming patterns.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look, even with the last hits on TA, like you said, more of them is going to be Ancient, so for Avatar mode, but big props to how much Gabby's actually been getting out of the map. He's now got the Aghanim Shard for this next team fight. BKB along with double damage rune for Avatar mode. See, T1 edging up across the map. It's only Jing in Avatar mode. Not the rest of Neon are behind the core. He's able to get the blink away to the western side. So it looks like Jing's just going to be the sacrifice here as Neon give up the Earth Spirit. They're going to make sure they don't bleed any more kills though. Got a little bit of glimpse of a bang. Gonna make sure he runs away from the team. Although the team is still looking to connect. Can they take the fight? Whoa! Almost 2 hits the OD. Ashalot, but he's still in trouble. A blink down to the southern side, but they're still hunting Carl as Enryu tries to lock onto the OD, but they don't have a way to gap close at the moment with the Wukong's out. I mean, Monkey's gonna end up falling through the BKB duration, but still they got a big issue in the PL. Gabby starting to rack up the damage here. Still gonna doppelgown. Jing's able to lock on top of the Phantom Lance at the moment as well. Carl gives him some breathing room with the Astral, but he should be able to make it away. Sleight of Fist at the last second. Jing's following up for more, but my oh my, what was looking like a rough fight here for Neon. They buy back on 1 and just answer the call for that skirmish.
Jing's been real good early on into the game. He's able to set up on multiple targets. He may need to expend the buyback, but he'll be killing multiple heroes as a result of that and opening up this Roche pit for a TA. You'll love to see it.
Now, I mean, now Abaddon mode is more damage than the Desho would have given you previously. Clap, clap. Thank you, Gaben. This is where you go on your rant, Danog, that you're not happy with some of the patch changes. It's okay. I'm waiting.
Why did it need more? Why did it need more, man? Why did Conquer not need an Earth? Tiny's the busted hero this patch, though. Like, you remember TI, it's basically back to that point.
Nice, very cool. It feels like even better now. Because at TI, they were speaking about this minute 20 timing with Aghanim Shard. Now you get it at 15 minutes. Now you just farm ridiculously fast. Were you seeing
like it's probably like a 17-minute timing, right? Because most of the time you're going to get that and then not quite have enough for the Shadow Blade at that point. I feel like once you've got Shadow Blade, that's really when you want to be looking to get kills rather than just continue to sit in the jungle and farm.
Dude, Cuckoo's... Sorry, not Cuckoo. Whitemon's got the Dark Troll Summoner. He's got a bunch of the Skellies running around. What is it? +2... Yeah, +3 damage, actually? What's he doing with them, though? He's kind of 2 minds on where he wants to send his little army.
It's running around menacingly, bro.
Oh, it's off cooldown. Use it. It's off cooldown. No. Honestly, I'm very surprised at how PL's not at the stage where it's this raid boss, like full heart, really tanky, but Radiant doing a lot better in the team fights than I was expecting.
I feel like they're just able to get onto the right heroes at the beginning, right? Whether it be the OD or the Jakiro, they're the ones that are outputting a lot of damage early on into a lot of these engagements, right? So if you're able to take them down, in Cuckoo, I like the fact that he went into the Ghost Scepter just because A, it's good utility for early on. It gives you 5 to all stats, which is nice. But now you can even build it into the E-Blade, so you've got that extra potential either for a save or for extra damage for yourself. So it's not like you've just got a dead item in your lineup right now.
3 heroes TP bottom. Someone needs a show unless... I mean, this tower's going to go down? Oh, no. Look at the trade. Top. I mean, they're going to have to go through backdoor. Surely, more than likely, Abaddon mode has got the damage. But, yeah, no one's showing on Dire, so... It's feeling a little bit passive with this. So that's a really big trade for T1 because still Gabby's getting a lot of farm. Where is he right now? Yeah, almost half completed for the Phantom Lancer. Level 20 as well.
His leveling did flatten out a lot though, right? He was dead even with Avatar mode for a lot of the time, but now he's 2 levels behind him. So I think that just goes to show the speed that TAs are able to farm at relative to a PL. He's going to stand right in front of this tier 2 tower on the top side, but again, you're just not getting quite the same level of trades happening here as Whitemon. He's in a bit of trouble again.
Look how long he's taking it. Bring down though. Magic resistance, holy locket. I mean, I guess that's not really helping him too much, but with his maxed out nation's attendance, he's like, guys, I'm not dying. And now Avatar mode. They don't have the outpost as well to TP to. Oh my lord, T8. No. What do you do now on Die? You drop your Wukongs. They thought they had a way to start the fight as Enryu's going to jump back in. The rest of Radiant still very split away. They've got to be cautious if Die look to show up. Gabby's going to answer the call, but still they're eyeing up Zephyr with the ward on the high ground. Avatar mode is able to instantly lock onto the Monkey King through that tree line.
Zephyr knows that it's warded up there now, otherwise he wouldn't have been able to blink right on top of him, so you'll assume that the Monkey King's going to be able to remove that, but it might be a bit tough if they're just constantly banging in onto your door. Not going to have the chance to loop around onto the backside.
Cuckoo?
It was,
Cuckoo might be in trouble. I suppose it's not really going to hold too much back. But Hero is definitely not the tankiest hero at all, and putting yourself in a position like that is not going to really enable you to hold your life. So, I mean, this could be a little bit of damage onto the tier 2 mid.
Cuckoo's just been out of position, and his spell casting has not been on point this game. Like, even just that previous fight, right? Like, he uses an ice path, which, you know, it's understandable, but BKB still had half of the duration left for the Viper there, so it was basically for nothing, you know, and ice path, even though at max level, they've given it a little bit, actually it's the same cooldown, but longer duration, doesn't feel any better, for sure, just to be casting it out for no reason.
30 seconds left on Aegis here for Avatar mode. T1, they are continuing to hold their tier 2. Wukong's back up if a fight breaks out. Probably going to see them smoke now with everyone alive.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Their close ending timings actually. Cuckoo would love Ags. I don't... How close... I mean, you might look to fight. Carl really wants a BKB as well. Do you smoke or do you wait for these items?
On T1?
Yeah.
I feel like he's just got the Ags now on Cuckoo. I was about to say you at least wait for that one to come out here. Still a little bit too far away on the OD, unfortunately. Could maybe afford to buy the Ogre Axe instead of the Windlace, just to enable your survivability for that little bit longer. It does feel that they're kind of burst focused right now. On
the North, who have they found? Double meteor to start. They can hold back Jing as well. Castle in trouble. Occupied up to the high ground. Gabby's in the midst of it all, though. They've already killed off Jing. A real wasted BKB from Enryu is going to look to try and TP up. The damage, Gabby, not enough. Nice read of that TP. Zephyr jumps on 4, but still, the Boundless Strike is on cooldown. So they just get Jing, which I believe is the buyback death timer from previously. They're going to look to smoke up as well. Luckily enough for Abaddon mode, he's got a haste.
They're not being very clean how they're looking to make a lot of these movements here on T1.
I mean, they're smoked as well. They want to take the fight.
Cool.
Restless in the backpack. Zephyr. They got confirmation he's there. How do you chain lock down the Ember? Well, they won't have the opportunity. If BKB, as Asta goes flying to the middle, but Cuckoo once again is going to get brought down to start the fight until Carl swings over the tree line, gets the Astral Safe, but now they need a way to the end to the Fiend Script. Gabby has got a silence thanks to the Mindbreaker, so they'll get rid of the Fiend Script, but still the rest of Neon, they're in trouble as Gabby's damage. Too much for them to handle. They'll kill off the Ember. Avatar mode to the northern side. He's not the target at the moment. It's actually going to be Ryu. Quick reactions, blink out to safety. So a 2 for 3 throughout that skirmish.
Gabby and Enryu are doing... Sorry, not Enryu. Gabby and Zephyr are doing so much in a lot of these engagements, right? The double defusals really looking to come into play, locking people down that have either used their BKB or don't want to use a BKB specifically in response to a position 4 Monkey King. So kind of forces them out to do so and not get the best trades in terms of their spell immunity. Because otherwise you're just going to be standing inside that Wukong's command, starting to lose a lot of HP against that, plus the PL.
I'm surprised at how fast their mana is burning. Like, I wonder if it is, of course, the extra diffusal that's coming into play, but because the nerf to what the melee illusions mana burn from 12 to 8, I wasn't anticipating the mana to be burnt out as fast as what it has been these past fights.
Still pretty deadly, for sure. And a lot of that is, again, on the Monkey King, right? You're able to dish out a lot early on, especially with this triple Wraith Band build. It's the 32-minute mark, remember? So all those bonuses are doubled.
Let's go, Zephyr. I mean, this is the monkey's dream. It always feels like as a position 4, you're going for this, you know, kind of one big item, and you like a lot more cost-effective items in the infantry slot. And we still got a super even game though. 32 minutes in, 26 to 7 kill count, but with the net worth lead, it's, you know, going back and forth.
Ruff's doing this right from his position 4 role. Previously, I remember, I believe it was even at TI, where Zephyr went for like a Weaver with Daedalus, for example, on it in that position 4 role. So this Monkey King, the style that he's building it in, feels incredibly similar. He's just finished up his BKB. He's level 18. You can very easily stand it on the front lines with all that extra armor and magic resist against this kind of lineup that OB.Neon have without too much of a concern.
Jing will be caught out though, so the smoke on T1 only netting themselves a kill onto the position 4. No objective also claimed afterwards. Does take them quite some time, but I guess they get a decent bounty. 346 gold for Carl. Bit of gold for all the other boys as well. But, I mean, Roche is about to be up, so if they stay inside the pit, which I'm sure Whitemon's just going to keep a creep inside, that's where the objectives comes off. Oh, he didn't keep a creep. He didn't keep a creep. They got rid of the trap.
There we go. The Ripper, he'll see it.
Let's go, Ripper! Is that cycling? No. Alright, they're picking up. Danog? Actually, I guess with OD, you take it pretty fast.
Radiant's middle tower is
In the
under
pit.
attack.
And they don't have a trap as well for Radiant, so they will not have recognition of Roche being up. They do have a ward nearby and seeing T1 posturing around the area, but, well, I'll tell you what, Roche is gone and there's no way to counteract this. Jesus, Whitemon.
Yeah.
Let's start this 4. TA's in trouble. Can he get the blink away? Not going to be fast enough. Now the refraction's getting burnt away as Gabby's locking on top of the Templar Assassin. A Hurricane Pike up to the higher ground. Still Cuckoo's the main target at the moment for Neon. They've got the real PL. They need a way to cancel the Fiend's Grip, but bang, the full duration lockdown isn't going to be enough. First life cancelled out, and Neon, now they've got an ankle to take this second round. Gonna back off. Reset Avatar mode a blink away. He's got Asta nearby. They are lacking some mana though. So maybe feeling like they're happy with that initial round. And if they can just reset and not lose any more. And I think that's going to be the case. Bang. Well, maybe not a bang though. All right, you lose the Bane. You're happy with that. Oh no, Jing, don't reveal his position with the courage. Just run there and the illusion sees him. Oh, they see him. Oh, Carl, nice jump in. All right, losing 2 supports now. They're going to start to connect now. Templar Assassin TPing to the fight. Ooh.
They could easily just look to claim this T1 tower on the top side. The Aghanim Shard now on Cuckoo. Yeah, a little bit of an odd decision to just continue to stay there and fight. who I'm sure he would want a lot of these decisions again, though. Like, it feels like
Radiant's top
T1,
tower
they're getting the
has
better
fallen.
end of a lot of this stuff, but it's just a little slow with a lot of the movements coming out here.
Trickster's rune of illusion.
Has he finished up the E-Blade, or has he just changed entirely, going back into the Yule Scepter?
I saw the Yules queued up for a little bit. Avatar mode? You gotta get this kill pretty goddamn fast and then get out. Now with the Macropie laid down, keep in mind, that's the Aghanim, so the damage really starting to ramp up.
Radiant's top tower is under
Another
attack.
good reaction with the blink afterwards. BKB still up. TP on cooldown though. He's got Enryu nearby. I don't think there's any way you can help the Templar Assassin Radiant. Alright, well there is. It's just Enryu and the threat of someone else joining. Looks like
Is
Asta
under attack.
should be fine. Remnant's gonna expire shortly. Would have popped the BKB even through that duration ice path. Not getting the instant stun. He's gonna go aggressive on Carl and Remnant out. Maybe trying to force something.
Let yourself get carried away.
So there's apparently a little window there with Astral Ice Path. What, the millisecond particles, not enough to get that connection before BKB.
And with the Fire Remnant as well now, right? Previously the cast point was 0, now it's 0.1, so it becomes a whole lot more difficult to be able to escape from a lot of that stuff.
I mean, this game's going to continue to be dragged out considering both sides didn't have this second Roche advantage. Actually, where'd the Ag Shard go to? I imagine Cuckoo, because Gabby had his previously, so we got the Liquid Frost now. Or the Jakir.
That previously as well, though.
Scanning.
Do Radiant have one? No, they don't. So I'm not too sure.
Radiant are scanning.
Well, anyway, you do have a level 25 on the PL. He's got Heart completed. He's got that Butterfly. Again, they are very single target focused right now. So it's going to be almost entirely onto the Ember Spirit to make sure that the impact coming through from the PL is reduced as much as possible. Just want to give a shout out to Abang as well in that previous fight to be able to find the real PL and pop that smoke. It's a pretty big deal.
Avatar mode. So this is team behind him. Real Phantom Lancer at the moment. But he also has some lads just in case someone jumps in prematurely. Radiant. Very good control around their high ground. Asta's going to look to commit in the middle. Early BKB's forced out though. So Asta's not going to have this in the arsenal, but he kites the Wukongs. Hey, Gabby's still hunting. And this Phantom Lance is not an easy person to deal with at all. Asta able to Remnant over to the low ground. Looks like that will be all she wrote. We're seeing the issues though with how they can kill PL. I don't know if you man fight Gab. This guy is a absolute menace.
It was always the thing that we were concerned about, right, from the very start of the game. How are you going to deal with this Phantom Lancer? And I feel like he's reached that critical mass. Even though he might not be at the top of the net worth charts, TA isn't going to be able to do all that much to stop him.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, TA's had the Swift Blink queued up for quite some time. You know, still top of the net worth, but fights are really starting to go into the control of T1. Like you said, now that Phantom Lens has hit that critical mass. And we've seen some...
I wonder if even the Swift Blink is the right item to go for, right? Like, obviously it's very strong, but... It's weird, like, all you need to do is basically stop him from using the Manta Style or get him after he's used Manta Style. But I feel like a Bloodthorn isn't even the worst item to go right now.
Avatar mode's onto the OD at the moment. Is he going to still stick around? Nice blink away. See both sides, TA in refraction, sorry, in the astral, just refraction blink out, and we're seeing the same with Carla as well. So this will actually push them off bottom tower.
How would you feel about the Bloodthorn on the TA? Like he needs to go it, in my opinion. He needs to go the MKB, which he's got queued up, right? Because you should see the Battle Fury that they've got right now on the Phantom Lancer. He's also got the Trickster Cloak on top of that, right? So it's you got to get rid of a lot of this evasion potential, but Bloodthorn just feels so good. It provides that true strike. You're going to be able to lock down potentially the real PL or the OD and take them down as long as they don't have that BKB available. I feel like it's going to be a real value item, especially considering especially considering the build-up for Orchid as well, right? Like, it's a lot less int-focused and a lot more towards the attack speed, so I feel like a TA, or a Viper, honestly, isn't going to mind that all that much.
You do have one being built on Enryu, so maybe they feel like one you get the value out of the true strike. So, and Enryu, he's playing with fire. He's like, yeah, come. It's just making you a little bit mad. Chuck a Viper strike, see if someone reacts. He's like, I'll laugh away, blink away. Very cool, very cool.
What about?
Let me hear it.
Dire's
I mean,
bottom tower is under
No,
attack.
it kind of sucks on all their heroes.
Oh, that's
They have
boring.
no int carry. But I want to see a Revenant's
Let's
Brooch come out
go.
from someone on Neon, right? Because 5 attacks have True Strike, right? Like, A, you could deal with the Battle Fury, and B, you can attack ethereal units, and Cuckoo has an E-Blade.
Wait,
so
question, how many hits does it take to kill Cuckoo? Okay, he barely took any damage. Wait, what? I thought the first hit was going to do so much more.
especially considering it was the Quiver hit, right?
Yeah, Quiver and Meld. Is that worrying? How... Cuckoo doesn't have a lot of armor. He's got... Where'd he get the 10 from?
Talent. No, not
Radiant
talent.
are
I think
scanning.
Wymon
Cloak
being...
of Flames. Cloak of Flames and the Witchblade.
Yep.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Okay, so what was your question? The Revenant's Brooch. I don't know. I feel like that's a bait. When are you ever actually going... Like, who itemizes into that? Has...
Nature's Prophet, or maybe a... No, not even Jakira, to be honest. Nature's Prophet.
Maybe if the enemy team starts building, like, a bunch of Ghost Scepters, you consider it?
Good. I mean, they've got one already.
Neon of continuing to set this blockade up around their triangle, traps down Sentries, Observer, the whole lot, to make sure they're at least able to control one portion of the map. Zephyr? Any other crazy level 25s? Odie's closing in on his. Arcane Orb or Lifesteal. Anything you'd feel like is a little bit better than the other in a game like this?
Let's say Arcane Orb. You just want the extra damage to be able to burst through. Again, they are still lacking stuns, right? So you need some sort of way to kill the Ember Spirit. And honestly, even the TA, right? She's level 27. She has the +7 refraction instances, so it's already going to be hard to be able to remove those. Consider things like BKB. Got a decent amount of damage over time. I just don't think it's going to be enough. The other thing as well is that we're seeing another one of these, I believe, 0% win rate items, at least in the games that we've watched, with the Wraith Pack being built up by
Zephyr?
the...
Starts to find on a bang. Force to the low ground. Emery follows suit as well. Avatar mode still wants to take the fight, but the abyssal reveal from Gabby might be a bit of an issue as Avatar mode. He's got nowhere to reset his position. Hurricane Pie fast enough. It's not. TA down. Godlike streak claiming out. Carl looking on for more. In between the T2, T3 tower, but there's no way to escape as they blocked off the high ground retreat. Still, the Monkey King's going to be the target. Jing and Enryu looking to stand their ground, but the buyback starting to rain in from Neon. Can they turn this fight back around as Gabby is the raid boss? PL well and truly an issue at this stage in the game. The dieback for the Bane, Gabby's out, and those buybacks feel not worth it at all. A little bit of all chat, Carl? Come on, Danog, this way. You're supposed to tell me what's going on.
Or I'm Googling as fast as I can. Ugly. Ugly.
Oh. I think there was...
Oh, you hate to see it.
Okay. There was a little bit of chat in the pre-game lobby between Ebang and Cuckoo. Ebang was, sitting in tier 1 slot before the game started, and...
Has fallen to the dire.
feels like they've got, no, I don't want to say the last laugh, but definitely in a position to be the case. I mean, 12,000 net worth lead. You got third Roche as well. This time we got Shard on Jakiro along with Cheese and Ages on to Carl. I like this. I don't see how Gabby dies at all, so, why give him the Ages?
Going into the Skadi as well on top of things. Going to be nice against the TA and the Viper. Easy ways to get it onto people as well. They just gave the refresher onto the Monkey King's Courier, so they feel like they're going to be lacking a little bit of that potential to go up onto the high ground, maybe just wanting the zoning potential of the Wukongs.
Sure. Yeah.
Might even wait for that 25 on Zephyr. He's only one away.
That is definitely one of the weaknesses of the PL, is your high ground siege is very, very limited. So if you want to lay down some of these abilities, I mean, you could even macro pyre if you consider it, because the Ags, you got that longer duration. I'm almost certain. Yeah, plus by 20 seconds. He finished E-Blade 2 as well for Jakiro, so Cuckoo's damage continued to ramp up. It's still a question of his positioning in fights. The past couple of fights, it's been a lot better. You know, maybe this is because how strong PL is, and he can just brute force in and not really care. Asta? Does he get away? Doesn't have any remnants available. There's the initial stun. Sanity's dropped, and there's those cars point. It just took a little bit longer for the remnants to be utilized here, and a solo kill. At least Ember's one of the heroes on Neon that have a buyback.
Oh, it's just doing so much damage, though. He did end up going for the Arcane Orb damage. I think without that, probably don't get that kill. It'll take an extra right click to be able to take him out, but obviously doing so, and it's even going to be a nice thing to do.
Avatar mode. I shall start. Cuckoo follow.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh, Carl.
Doesn't force down. He's still got Aegis. BKB. Jin's gonna try and commit the first life. Nice kickback as well. So if Carl dies in this position, this actually could be a decent start for Neon. He's able to blink away to the mid tier 3 tower. Now it's closer to at least tier 1 so they can protect him on the respawn. The Ember's forced to buy back. Spirit down for 60, but he's got a buyback as well. Corey is getting reined in. Bloodthorn for Enryu. Nullifier for Avatar mode. Items for this defense. Let's see how they can hold though. Try and start. Refraction Force. Double force staff away. So the Wukongs is going to be wasted here. And Asta though jumps the middle. It's going to be cautious. Abyssal out. He's still got the opportunity to reset. How do you take this fight now for Neon? It's going to be Jing. Jing's how you start this. He's really been making the plays throughout this entirety of the game. Gonna start on the Phantom Lancer. Is Gabby really killable though? I don't know. PL is such a raid boss. He turns to blow up the Earth Spirit. Jing, that's a dieback for him. It's an Iceration Fiend Script from a bang. They're gonna be able to cancel off the life of the Monkey King as well, but they've still got issues. But PL, Gabby going on forward for more. Deeper and deeper inside the base. 3 down, no buybacks. Now they look onto the tier 4 tower. As tier 1, and what was an even game for majority of this game 1. Phantom Lancer started to get out of control, and I don't see a way back in here. Maybe Avatar mode can make something happen. Still, the TA's doing ridiculous amount of damage, but this Abyssal Blade from Gabby was where it really all turned around from there as the G's are dropped. It's going to be T1 taking out game 1 victory.
It was just the inevitable thing that we were talking about, right? Like, you were always going to get to this stage where the PL was unkillable. So much needed to be put onto Asta to be able to make the plays happening early on, and they put a lot of pressure onto his lane, making sure that that was never going to eventuate. So I feel like it was a really well thought out draft coming from T1, obviously not revealing everything in the early stages. Again, having the advantage of having that last overall pick for the draft with having the second pick. They won the coin toss, so they were able to decide what they wanted, and they made that second pick work for them quite well. Unfortunately, Enryu, he didn't really get the value out of that that Bloodthorn either. Actually, the TA ended up going into a Nullifier instead of even the Monkey King bar, maybe just thinking that the Enchanted Quiver with that True Strike was going to provide, you know, the similar sort of value, but still feel like maybe that was the way that they needed to go about things on OB.Neon. Just multiple ways to be able to lock down that PL, because we saw, even though Jing made a lot of good initiations into that, rolls in, gets the silence, gets the magnetize in onto the PL. All he needs to do, pop the Manta style, and then he's not really taking any damage anymore. So it's always going to be an issue, and that's game 1 to T1.
Like you said, it was the inevitable though. The PL was kind of something we were mentioning for the entirety of the game, and I'm sure something that Neon were mentioning as well, with we have to continue to keep up this pace. We cannot match the Phantom Lancer as the game goes on. We saw they tried to itemize to deal with that win condition, but it just got to a stage where Gabby, you didn't have an answer to him at the end. I mean, Gabby went 9-2-12, had an exceptional performance. I want to give props as well, just to his farming patterns. PL is not a hero that farms really fast at all. And there was a stage where he was keeping up with the Templar Assassin. So, for at least the boys on tier 1, your background is saying it. They've been struggling a lot of these games, but, they still have a couple of series left. This one, they're facing Yangon next. So 2 series to close out the Pro Series, and there is a potential for them to still secure upper bracket. So if they can continue with this momentum, then anything is able to happen for them. For Neon, though, silver linings as well. They looked really good for a majority of this game until the PL really started to crack the roster of Neon. So I'm actually just excited to see if there's a potential Jing Earth Spirit next game as well. This is someone that I've actually been enjoying watching for Neon. So I didn't have a lot of prior knowledge of him, but someone that's, I think, been performing really well for the games I've seen so far from Neon. And his Earth Spirit performance was something that almost got them over the edge to take this game 1 through, kind of the mid game. But unfortunately, they had PL issues like we see so often when there is no answer. It's going to be T1 taking game 1. We'll see you guys all shortly after a break.